both Stan Huddleston, our prayer practitioner this morning, and Roger Brown quoted from a passage that I have used as a meditation for many, 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 many years. I've memorized it. I've set it to music. I contemplate it all the time. I give copies of it to my students. It's on my wall. Everywhere I look, the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Thank you both. It makes you kind of think there's only one mind. Today's the 10th year anniversary of my ministry here, the very first Sunday in June. And I remember moving into my house on May 28th, 2003. It was 105 degrees and very humid. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? I had left Huntington Beach, where I lived 2 miles from the ocean. I left my home church, where I was the assistant minister, and as such, I didn't have to deal with financial issues, events planning, and other stressful pieces of heading up an organization. I had a 6-piece jazz band, many voice students, a great roommate who happened also to be a gourmet cook. My mother lived close by, and my senior pastor absolutely trusted and respected me. And the board of trustees voted to pay me very well. Why, then, did I come to Visalia? You know, I've been asked that many times. But here's what happened. I had a definite feeling that I was supposed to come here. After speaking with the former pastor, Reverend Bob Dean, he informed me that he was leaving so that he could live closer to his daughter and granddaughter, who lived on the east side of the United States, the far east side. And he just couldn't stand not being close to them. I was coming to visit my sister for my birthday and for a little vacation. My sister lives in Lemoore. And Reverend Dean said, well, will you sing? I said, sure. He said, will you speak? I said, sure. He said, will you take my job? I laughed because I too thought he was just kidding around. But he said, no. He said, I'll be gone by the time you get here. I said to him, there's no way. I have the perfect job. Are you kidding me? I live 2 miles from the ocean. And I don't have to do any fundraising in my job. So that was that. But later during my meditation, I had an experience where I actually saw myself being the pastor of the church here. And in my heart, I said, oh, please no. I resisted. I continued to resist. I consulted a mentor who gave me some good advice. I came up here and sat in the church one day, the last day where you could submit an application. And I said, why? And I got the answer. The answer was this center needs someone who will stay and will nurture and has particular talents that fit the needs of this center. I went, oh. I got it like a ticker tape went right across my mind. So I said, okay. And once I said okay, everything worked out perfectly. Every door opened. Everything necessary to happen happened. And here I am, 10 years later, still here, and it's going to be 102 today. And I see you fanning yourselves. You know, it's my habit to review my life at certain major points to see where I've been, what I've done, and to continue where I'm headed. So last week, I took vacation. I went to the coast for a few days and stayed at a gorgeous hotel in Pismo Beach, right on the cliffs overlooking the ocean. And I said, 10 years. And suddenly, my heart was filled to the brim with gratitude. I looked back at those 10 years, and I was so grateful. It has flown by very quickly. And by coming here to Visalia and taking on the responsibility of being a full-time pastor, my life has changed drastically in many, many ways. I spent a lot of time contemplating both the past and the future. I've never been a person that had a 5-year plan. Anybody have a 5-year plan? How did it work for you? I've never been a person with a 10-year plan, mostly because I was a professional singer. And so I loved to sing. That was my profession, my official profession. You know how when people are waitresses and waiters, they say, oh, I'm not really a waiter, I'm an actor. Well, I held a lot of jobs between singing contracts. But really, I lived to sing. I lived from one opportunity, one operatic contract to another, and filling in with whatever jobs I could get. Now, these jobs have included, for your education, roller skating car hop, housekeeper, bookkeeper for an eccentric millionaire. This job I did with absolutely no clue how to do bookkeeping. His books have never been the same, I'm sure. Legal secretary. This job I did without any experience as a legal secretary. So I just copied other documents that I found thereabouts. And college administrator, another job for which I was completely unprepared. But at this 10-year mark as pastor, and I'm now the age of 68, I asked myself, what about the next 10 years? What's your plan? Do you even have a plan? I used to joke that I didn't have health insurance or retirement benefits, so I was just going to have to drop dead. I once saw a cartoon in the New Yorker magazine. It was a fellow at a cocktail party, and he said, he was saying, well, I couldn't afford health insurance, so I became a Christian Scientist. Anyway, last week, I stared at the beautiful Pacific Ocean, and I asked myself what I had learned in the past 10 years and what my plan is for the next 10 years. I'd like to share with you a wonderful quote. You know, the founder of this teaching, Ernest Holmes, he was like an encyclopedia of positive thought. He was a brilliant man. He had examined Christianity in depth, Judaism in depth, Hinduism in depth, Buddhism in depth, Jainism in depth, Christian Science in depth, psychic phenomena in depth, Egyptian teachings. Oh my gosh. He was a question mark, his mother said. Wanted to know why. And what happened was, all of this distilled and became the tremendous philosophy that we have enjoyed, the science of mind. How to use your mind, how to steer your mind, how to focus your mind, how to tame your mind, how to train your mind. And what did he want the mind to do? What was the purpose of all this? To think up wonderful things. One of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes is, "We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we create?" Wow. We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we create? Isn't that a fabulous quote? It leaves the door open to the most wonderful possibilities. Another quote that has had tremendous meaning to me as I have tried to come up with a 10-year plan for the next 10 years. Ernest Holmes handed it to me on a silver platter. Here's the plan. First of all, he said, we must not have fear of the future. I see that the future is bright with promise. It beckons me forward into a more complete realization of my own worth and my rightful place in the universe. All my tomorrows will be happy and filled with harmonious occupations. I look to the future with great and pleasurable anticipation, knowing it will expand my opportunity for radiant self-expression. I love my past and my future, and understand that they are but continuations of the one unbroken chain of life. There is no future to be afraid of, and no past to bring discord into the present. There is no uncertainty about my future and no fear as a result of my past. I live in the eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Divine intelligence operates through me without confusion, calmly moving forward, progressive, reaching outward. I am guided by infinite wisdom into the light that is eternal. Everybody say, wow. Isn't that a big wow? I mean, what if you actually took that as your 10-year plan or your 5-year plan or even your 5-minute plan? I mean, that is so fabulous. So here's what I have learned, and here's what I would like to share with you. This is my 10-year plan. We have to live in the moment. I intend to live in the moment and embrace that truth, that now is the only time there is. The past is gone, and the future's not here yet, and it's not guaranteed. So, wonderful piece of truth, and I wrote a song about it, of course. Now is the only time there is, the only truth is love, and the only work to give. Number 2, I have like a 6-point plan here. Number 2, we must do what we love, and we must love what we do. It's kind of like, if you can't be with the one you love the one you're with. Only not exactly. Really move in the direction of doing what you love. And if you're not there yet, love what you're doing. Bring excellence to everything you do, because you are sacred. Your work's an extension of your sacred self, and those who benefit from your work are sacred. It's all a big circle of sacredness. So that attitude, we call that seva, selfless service, as if unto God. And then 3, it's important for me to continue to savor beauty, to laugh often, to celebrate friendship and warmth. How many times do we just rush by the beauty? You know, one of the things I like about Visalia, people say, so how do you like Visalia? People from Huntington Beach, they call me and ask me. I go, I love Visalia. I didn't realize that I was a country girl all this time, living in the big cities, but a country girl at heart. I love Visalia. It's so beautiful. The oak trees, the delicious strawberries out of the field, and the lovely people. You know, you never knew. I used to live in Texas, and I've lived in New York City, and I've been in Europe, and I've traveled all over Mexico. You know what things I like about the people in Visalia? There's no pretense. What you see is what you get. People are very honest about who they are, very open. You don't have to do any guesswork. It's important to do what you love, and love what you do. Love where you are. If you're not in a place that you truly want to be, everybody wants to live on the coast, right? A lot of fog out there. I remember living in Huntington Beach. The big storm, we had a big, long pier in Huntington Beach, very famous, and a little restaurant called the End of the Pier. And during the time I lived there, it got destroyed by storms 3 times, the entire pier. So I love it here. No tornadoes. You know. Yeah, it's important to savor beauty. Take time to really savor the beauty of where we are. To laugh often. You know, life can be very serious, but it's also pretty doggone funny when you think about it. And to savor that friendship and the warmth that is available. Another goal of mine for the part of the 10-year plan, to cultivate balance. I've always been a person of extremes. You know, I was an extreme whatever, and then I was another extreme whatever. You know, whatever I do, it seems to be in the extreme. So one of my big goals for my entire life is to cultivate balance, the path of moderation, to appreciate physical strength and health. You know, every morning when I get up out of my bed, I like to say, thank you, legs. Thank you, feet. I stand up, thank you, back, because there are a lot of people I know that don't have that wonderful strength And I have put this body through a lot of hardship. You know, I used to roller skate in Central Park for 8 hours on Saturdays. I used to jump off curbs. I used to fall down in front of taxi cabs that were revving their motor. I mean, I have put this body through a lot of hardship. And it's still serving me. It's being so kind, so nice. Whenever I get a massage, I say, thank you, arm. Thank you, head. Thank you, leg. Thank you, back. Thank you. Bless you. I love you. I'm so grateful to you that you have served me in such a wonderful way and continue to serve me and forgive me for all my past sins. Part of my 10-year plan is to create more opportunities to be of service to others in truly helpful and loving ways. Really, what are we here for, if not that? Are we here to accumulate a bunch of stuff? I'm at the age now where I'm trying to get rid of the stuff that I've accumulated. We are here to help each other, to serve one another, to love each other, to heal each other, to hold each other in warmth, in love, in support, forgiveness. Yeah, absolutely. To create more opportunities to be of service to others in truly helpful and loving ways. You know, we like to be of service to others by telling them how they should live their lives. Anybody guilty of that? Besides me? Yeah, truly helpful and loving ways. To be a trustworthy friend, kind, generous, wise, compassionate, and a good listener. That one is hard, isn't it? To be a good listener. I'm a good talker. I could talk your ear off and part of your hair. But to be a good listener, to listen in compassion. And sometimes being a wise friend means to not say certain things out of consideration, out of honoring another individual's freedom. To always be filled to the overflowing with gratitude. Do you know that it's impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time? Think about it. Overflowing with gratitude. I want that gratitude just to bubble up inside of me and fill me with love, with awe. I have a little pet peeve right here. The use of the word awesome. Like Florence, those shoes are awesome. No, they're not. The Grand Canyon's awesome. You know, this tornado that just hit Oklahoma City, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. To be filled with awe at the grandeur, at the miracle of life. Even a butterfly is such a miracle. You know, even the birds going back and forth feeding their young, such a miracle. We're absolutely surrounded by miracles. If we wake up to them, we can experience such gratitude. And we're part of that miracle. I mean, really, when you think about a baby and the fact that, let me see, anybody here under 40? No, so you're all over 40, right? All righty then. Well, the fact that you're under 40, but you're close to it, are you close to it? I'm going to be turning 30? 30? You're just a mere child. So if you're anywhere between 30 and 100, where's Marjorie? She's not here today. She's 100. Oh, there you are. There's Marjorie. Okay, we got a 30-year-old and 100 and everything in between. Then you know that you no longer have your body that you had when you were born. Where did it go? You no longer have your body that you had when you were 5 or 10 or 20 or my favorite age, 25, where I really looked good. You know, you no longer you have your 30-year-old body, but most of us don't. Where did those bodies go, for goodness sake? I mean, the fact that you're sitting here you're in a completely new body, totally different from any body you've had before. Isn't that bizarre? Where do those bodies go, for goodness sake? It's a miracle. There are miracles everywhere. A beautiful song that I love to sing is entitled, Everything is Holy Now. And one of the things it says is, I used to think the world was half-baked, it was irritating, blah, blah, blah. And he says, but now, it's not so much trying to look for a miracle, because everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. It's that consciousness. I'm so grateful for this teaching that ushered me into that consciousness. Really to summarize my 10-year plan, and I'm going to ask you to join me in this intention, is to live my life in such a way that it leaves a message of peace, a legacy of love, of creative expression, and victory over adversity and selfishness. I don't think that's such a bad plan. As for the details, the when, the why, the how, the where, I surrender those to the infinite, to the all-knowing power that we call God. I'd like you to affirm a couple of things with me, if you will. All my tomorrows will be happy and filled with harmonious occupations. All my tomorrows will be happy and filled with harmonious occupations. I look into the future with great and pleasurable anticipation. I know it will expand my opportunities for radiant self-expression. I love and embrace my past and my future. I understand that they are but continuations of the one unbroken chain of life. I understand that they are but continuations of the one unbroken chain of life. There is no future to be afraid of. There is no past to bring discord into the present. There is no uncertainty about my future. And there is no fear as a result of my past. I live in the eternal now, which is filled with good alone. Divine intelligence operates through me without confusion. Calmly moving me forward. Progressive. Reaching outward. I am guided by infinite wisdom into that light that is eternal. That's Ernest Holmes talking. And you know what? I love Ernest Holmes. I love those words. My 10-year plan is exactly that. I hope yours is too. And I'd like to close with a quote by Guru Mai Chidpalasananda. She said, I attended a meditation retreat. She's a very famous meditation teacher. She said, look behind you and see how far you've come. You've come so far. You've come so far. Oh God, don't falter now. That's my plan.